It's been a while since I've looked at MidnightBSD, so I think it's about time that I looked at a new version, 3.1.4, in this video. Right, we're on the MidnightBSD homepage. To download MidnightBSD, surprisingly you don't go to the download section at the top. You go to the right there and it says Get MidnightBSD. And you choose a mirror which is either close to you or the fastest for you. In my case, it's going to be the UK mirror. Although I could use the US Virginia one, but I think the UK one's probably going to be best. You can choose ISO or memstick, and there's the others if you need to have a look. And so we will click on the memory stick image, and here it is downloading. I haven't got the fastest internet in the world, so it's going to take a while. But even so, I can tell it's going at full speed, which is very good. So let's fast forward this. You then take the image that you downloaded, and using your favorite method and tool of doing so, you write it to a memory stick. I always use DD, but you can use whichever method you want. And if you want to know the specs of the test machine, here's a quick summary. It's just an Intel Core 2 Duo, 8 GB of RAM, and a GeForce GT 710 card. Nothing fantastic, but it's something that's never let me down. Right then. You put it in the test machine, reboot, and it should automatically go into a new install, which it is. And if you're used to FreeBSD, you can see that it's really a familiar looking menu. The default action being, when you let it count down, to go into multi-user mode boot. We're not going to look at the rest of the things for this video, but I've covered them in other previous FreeBSD videos. Right, so we're booting up to the install menu. It should pop up in a minute. There it is. And it's almost identical to the FreeBSD one, in that you get an install, you get a shell, and a live CD option. But really we just want to select install. So press enter. And here we have a key map selection screen. Go down to the country of your choice, or language of your choice rather. And for me it's, gone past it. It's United Kingdom. And we don't need to test. I kind of trust it'll work, so press enter for continue. And you choose a host name, and it's always going to be test for this machine. And we can choose optional components to install. I'm going to unselect kernel debug, you don't need that. And I'm going to leave lib32 and imports selected. I'm not going to choose anything else, so I'm going to press enter for this. And how would you like to partition your disk? Well, you can have auto UFS, manual, shell, or auto ZFS. We're going to go for ZFS on this option. And you can choose your ZFS configuration. My disk type, I've only got one single disk, so it's stripe, no redundancy, and it's make sure you choose the right one. It's the top one, ADA0. Yours might be labeled different, of course. Going to leave the rest of the things at default. Although, noted you can encrypt your disk if you wish, and you can even encrypt swap, which is a useful feature. So we're just going to proceed. And are you sure? Yes, I am. Again, it's fairly standard. If you've installed FreeBSD, you know the routine. And it doesn't take long. I've just fast forwarded this little countdown to see how long it took to install all the components, and it was 48 seconds, which is not bad at all. Right, so root password, and just retype it so we make sure we know what we're doing. Network configuration, it's detected the Ethernet card, which is good. Would you like IPv4 Yes, and DHCP? Yes. Take his time. Now we don't want IPv6. I'm going to leave that as. You can obviously put an additional one at the bottom, but I'm just going to leave that as it is for now. CMOS to UTC, no. So select no if you want to put your own local time in. Europe, and go all the way down to, well, for me it's going to be United Kingdom. So that looks fine. Don't need to change the month or year. The time is wrong, so I'm just going to select up and reduce it by an hour. There we go. That's fine. System configuration. What services would you like to be started at boot? I'm going to keep them all on except dump dev. Don't need that. I'm going to leave the rest of these things on. And system security, what would you like to harden? So disallow dtrace. I'm going to select these. That. Clean the temp file. Randomize the PID of newly created processes. Yes. And that'll be it. Would you like to add users to the system? Yes. Won't really get on with it. Do this. I'm going to put RoboNuggie. Full name RoboNuggie. I'm going to put empty login. Login group I'm going to add is wheel, video, and operator. You don't have to do these. It's false of habit for me, really. Wheel is important if you want to use SU later. I'm going to choose SH. I'm going to put default for these. Keep on going for the defaults. And use random password. No. All right. Now we choose a password for the user. Try and remember this. Quite important. Lock out the account. No. And we're all right with this. Yes. Would you like to have a new user? Nope. That should be it. I don't want to change anything. Gives you an option to change something if you wish. So I'm going to press enter for exit. Apply configuration and exit. And we don't want to make any more final manual modifications now. So I'm going to reboot. I'm going to take out the USB stick. And we'll have a first boot, more or less, of a new MidnightBSD. And the first thing you will notice on the reboot is that you get this nifty little menu at the bottom in yellow. And I like this. It's a nice touch. It says set your preferred package mirror, so US or UK or Japan. So it's a bit like when we downloaded from the website, gives you them choices. I'm going to choose UK. Would you like to report your install via BSD stats? Not on this occasion, no. Would you like to install Raven ports, an alternative packet manager? I've never heard of it, but okay, yes. And we'll see what that brings us. Would you like to enable a graphical environment? Yes, yes, yes. Do you wish to install DRMK mod? No. For Intel CPUs? No. Do you wish to install NVIDIA GPU driver? Yes. But I will choose a slightly older one because my card's not exactly new. 340, I think. Should work. And there we go. And it says, please restart to enable graphical login. Okie doke. I can see it's already added the NVIDIA driver to the KLD list. And we'll see if this works. The last time I reviewed MidnightBSD, I think everything went relatively smoothly. Right, we boot it into the new install. We'll see how it hasn't started the graphical thing. Okay, so give it a bit longer, maybe. No, it's not going to do it. So I'll log in manually, see what we can see. Right. Okay. Start X. And Start X is not found. Well, that's not good. Okay. I've got a feeling some things haven't been installed, like Xorg, etc. Okie dokie, let's have a look. Right, so KLD stat shows, yeah, the NVIDIA driver is loaded. We don't need mode set on this old driver. Linux and Linux Common is also installed, okay. So I'm beginning to feel it is because we haven't installed any of the essential things, really. I'm going to have a look at Xinit RC. Well, it doesn't look like the one I usually have, but it's there anyway. So it's not that. Alright, it's a window maker as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it's not that. So let's go into root and have a look at something else. Import, install, Xorg, okay. Well, it's downloading and installing, so I guess that perhaps is some of the problem. Looks like the menu system didn't do that automatically when you selected do you want to start a thing. Unless I'm reading it wrong. I seem to remember it actually installed the everything you need last time. So now that's been installed, we're gonna do XFCE 4. I mean XFCE. Right, okay, so that's done. Clear that. And I'm going to exit out and go into normal user. Start X again, see if we can get things moving. And it is. It is. Hopefully. Well, there's the cursor. Hey, okay. The resolution's a bit funky, but everything's there. Except for that. Plugin restart. Okay, I'm just going to execute. Let's see if it goes away. Log out, and it's back again. Go away, error message. Gonna do it again in a minute, innit? Okay, that's fine. So yeah, okay. Let's go back into root again and reboot. I know I could have pressed Control Alt Delete, but you know, I'm gonna see if now that we've installed Xorg, etc., that it's gonna boot up automatically. And it still hasn't. So there's still some things that haven't been installed. I think I remember last time I reviewed MidnightBSD, things did work. So I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so we'll have a look around the desktop anyway. Get a little bit of mini review out. Problems withstanding. Right, this is your basic XFCE. To anyone who's installed a vanilla version, it's doesn't come with any bells and whistles, I think. Just the usual things, the usual menu entries. Terminal emulator, web browser, and settings. You got all these things there. Nothing. There is nothing special, I don't think. Oh, so change that. Only goes up to that. But I think it's loaded the NVIDIA one. That's weird. Anyway, strange. Accessories, development, system. All the usual things for a bare bones XFCE system. There's no browser, but we'll have a look at that later. There's MidnightBSD 3.1.4 running XFCE 4.18. So that's cool. And we'll have a look if at the bottom here, you get a little taskbar manager thing at the bottom. And if we right click, you get the usual little menu entry there. XFCE really is a nice little, it's not a window manager. Is it a window manager? Is it? It's like desktop environment, but it's not big and bulky like GNOME and KDE. It's a little hybrid, I think. Right, so some basic wallpapers, and you can change the settings for icons, and yeah, just the basic stuff. Okay, auto changing, that's nice. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test the auto mount of a USB. I'm just going to put in the, hopefully it's the one that I've just taken out. I'm going to put it in anyway and see what comes up. And it's auto mounted the USB stick. There's the EFI partition and the main partition here. Everything seems to work all right. So that one. Click on the one that's empty, of course. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, it's seems to be working that way. But we're not going to get much done if we can't install some software like a browser or other things. Just going to be looking at the desktop, as nice as it is. So let's go into root. And of course, MidnightBSD uses imports, which is like the PKG in FreeBSD. So you're going to put import, search, and I'm going to have a look for Firefox. Don't think it was there last time I looked. No, it's not there this time. But I'm sure ESR was, although I might be mistaken. So I'm going to put ESR. No, okay. I'm going to try one or two things. No, it's not there. And not there, of course. Do you know, it was worth a try. I'm going to clear that. What else can we do? Import. Clean to make sure. Clean import tree. Well, there was no note to clean anyway. And an import index to pull in the latest. I think this has already been done, but you never know. I wonder if it's because it's using Raven ports. I don't know. I've never used Raven ports before, but just quickly reading, it says you can, if I can type properly, it says you can, it uses the same command import anyway. It just pulls them from a slightly newer package database. So who knows? Try again, and no. So it doesn't look like we can have Firefox, which is disappointing. From what I remember, it's almost a year ago since I did the over review. So what I can remember, it was an alternative browser I used. So we'll have a look in a bit. Well, I've decided to reinstall. So I'll fast forward all this process again. You don't need to see it. I'm going to reinstall using traditional imports rather than Raven ports. So I don't know whether that's anything to do with it whatsoever. It might be, it might not be, it might because who knows? Just that if you install a system, you expect to see some software. And I know there's one or two deficiencies in MidnightBSD. Some packages are available, but I mean, I'm at this point where I'm unsure whether or not it was Raven ports or it's, you know. So I'm gonna select traditional imports, even if it is slightly older software, because I'd rather the software be there and older rather than not be there newer. You know what I mean? It's just and I think we're stuck. Just waiting to get past this part. The T-Link wireless receiver is like a wireless keyboard and mouse I use. Works very well under FreeBSD. And it's not doing anything, so yeah, I think I have to restart again. Sorry about this. Really, do you know? I'm in two minds whether to keep this in. I'm in two minds whether just to keep the review as it is. Because really, I don't want to put out a negative video, but so far it's not working very well for me. Right, I'm going to Control-Alt-Delete and restart again. Hopefully it'll get past that bit. I don't know what went on there. I bet at this point you're thinking, oh, crikey, it's not but restarted. Sometimes it goes like this. A lot of the times you don't see the problems I have when I'm reviewing stuff or try to get stuff done behind the scenes, but this one I'm gonna leave things as it is. The struggle is real. So hopefully we get some action on this. Well, at least it got to that menu again. So set your preferred package manager. It's going to be UK. Would you like to report your install? No. Would you like to install Raven ports? Definitely no. Do you wish to enable graphic environment? Yes. It's downloading the index. Do you wish to install DRMK mod? No, I don't want to do that one. Do you want to install the NVIDIA driver? Yes. But this time I think I'm going to go for a new one, like 390. And what's it download? Well, okay, it's done something. I'm going to restart and see if it starts up again. And of course it didn't. So it's really not Ravenpots, I don't think. I think there's something going on with the install script. It's not installing, it's not kicking in. Even though you might select it, it doesn't do it. So we just log in, start Exify. So it's exactly the same as before, which is wonderful, isn't it? So, yeah. So, okay. Import, index, grab the latest one. Like I say, you know, I'm at this. I get a little bit fed up. I'll try anything. So, import, install, xorg, and xfce. I know that I'm fast forwarding, but the actual downloads from MidnightBSD is actually quite quick. That's for me, it's an impressive thing. Sometimes FreeBSD can be a little bit slow, but MidnightBSD is fast that way. Okay, let's try Firefox again, and of course Firefox not found, and then try ESR. No, I just like danger of repeating myself all the time. But yeah, okay, let's try something else. Falcon. Nope. Midori. Oh, no. Midori. Good grief. Oh, well, actually, you got something coming down there. I'm not fast forwarding because it's not a very big download, hopefully, he says. That's actually quite quick. Not too bad. Okay. So at least we got Midori. We got a browser. Right. So let's exit. No, I'll tell you what. We're going to do something first before we exit. I'm just going to have a look at KLD stats. See what's loaded in. NVIDIA. Yes, okay, same as before. But because we're using a newer NVIDIA driver, I'm going to try loading in mode set. Do you know something? NVIDIA mode set. Good grief. Okay. I might put that into... yeah, it's loaded in. I don't know whether I need that, but considering that this... You know, just to make sure, I'm just going to put that into rc.conf. Go down to the bottom where it says NVIDIA. You would have thought perhaps it would have put it in itself as well. Just going to put NVIDIA mode set. As well as, I mean, I don't need to, but I'm going to put Linux and Linux 64. When I'm 64. Oh no, we get copyright strike for that bit of singing. Should get some kind of strike. Right. Okay. And it's already loaded in, of course, and that wasn't. We'll put that in. And we're going to reboot again. If anyone's playing the drinking game where you take a sip every time we reboot, I think you'd be on the floor plastered by now. Right, so it hasn't started again, but here we go in. Yes, and it's auto-loaded, which is nice. Okay. So we're going to try import, install mlogin, which mlogin-D, which really I think takes care of the login manager thing that seems to be missing, which should have been loaded in automatically again. And we will try NVIDIA settings. So NVIDIA settings. That's loaded in. Reboot again. So I'm determined to get it to auto start login manager. And it has. Excellent. We should have done this, half an hour ago. Right. So, RoboNuggie. And password. Okie. And yeah. We're at the point now we should have been right at the beginning. I'm trying not to get a little bit angry here, a little bit cheesed off, but you know, It might be half an hour in the video, but it's been a lot longer in real life. Right, so we got there's Midori, yes, of course. Let's have a look. A browser, fantastic. Google. Oh, okay. Well, Google. I know he's using DuckDuckGo to look at Google. Yes, I know. Okay, let's go straight to DuckDuckGo. No. So something went wrong. Okay, let's try. Good grief. Let's try closing it. No, let's try. I'll put straight into google.com. Well, fantastic. I'm not going to bother with that. Okay. Let's test the internet. Yes, and there is a connection. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't think it's a DNS problem or anything like that. Right, so who knows? I'm getting to the point where I'm beginning not to care. So what else can we do? Okay. I'm going to try, see if we've got Linux. Just had a quick look in the nports index, and it says about Linux Firefox. So we'll see if that's there then, eh? Unless you have to build it from source, I don't know. But I'm going to try installing it. No. So it lists stuff but doesn't have them. Okay. Import. Sorry, import, search, anything Office. There's no Office. Import, search, anything Libra. Nope. Okay, then it's logically LibreOffice. No. Okay. Let's see about NVIDIA settings work, see if we can get a better resolution. It didn't start that, so let's type it in manually. And now it says unable to load info from any available system. Good grief. Okay, let's just check that the drive is installed and if it's working. You've got NVIDIA SMI. Will list your card and drive, etc., which it has done. It's 390.147. Yeah. So everything's working. I have no idea why that's not. Okay. Desperation. Let's go into the actual imports and build it from scratch. Which should take ages to do, but I'm willing to go that extra mile. Except it crashes. And it won't compile. Right. Okay, that's brilliant. Alright, so I've given up for now. There you go. Well, unfortunately, the score on the door this time is going to be 2. I want to give it more, but I can't. We'll have a look at the positives first. First boot options is innovative. I love them. You know, the little yellow text ones at the beginning, asking whether or not you want a graphical thing, or it's very much like a text version of what you used to get on True OS. Whether or not you booted into it, said, do you want a desktop environment or do you want it to be a server? And I think MidnightBSD has that potential. You know, like, because you've got FreeBSD, you can make it into a desktop, but it's predominantly, first and foremost, when you install it, it's default almost like a server. GhostBSD is first and foremost a desktop operating system, and even the developer Eric has said that it's really not meant to be a server. So this way, this MidnightBSD could be a halfway house, which is the bottom point there, as a potential to as a halfway house. So it links with the first one. That if you want to, you can choose it to be a server, you can choose to be a desktop. And I think that's fantastic. It's a really, really good thing. And I think that's that way that perhaps the main FreeBSD OS should go, to give the option of being a server or a desktop. Brilliant. I love that idea. And, you know, I think that's something that should be going forward. So MidnightBSD is to be commended for that. Brilliant idea. The developer is friendly and proactive. He is. Lucas Holt is the main developer. He's very approachable. He's a friendly guy. He's like Eric. Eric BSD from GhostBSD. He is busy. He's got obviously a day job during the day, and he does this when he can. But yeah, he is like very much. They're similar in very many ways in that you can easily approach them. If you've got a problem, they'll get back to you rather than sort of like not hearing anything again. Well, that's commendable as well. The system feels fast and responsive. It does. When I got onto the desktop, you're moving around, you're clicking things, and everything feels fluid and fast. There's no lag, there's no delay. Even on this old system, it's a clunky old thing. Even that it felt fast. So if you put it into a modern system, it's going to fly. So really, at this particular review, unfortunately, that's all I can give as a positive. The previous review had 3.5 stars, so I've had to knock off 1.5, simply because, well, as it stands, this version 3.1.4, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's gone back a step, or something's not quite worked. I think our previous version 3.1 odd. I think that suffers from an imports problem. So I don't know whether that's a lingering thing on this, but some of the negatives for this particular version is some options are broken. Like I said at the beginning, your first boot options, although being innovative, in this particular one are broken. It's not installing mlogin-d. It's not installing XFCE. It's not installing Xorg, and so for them things, your desktop experience is out of it. So it might ask you, and you might put yes, but it's not doing it. Okay, that's a little bit. It's a bit aggravating, If you know that beforehand, then fine. If you're starting from a FreeBSD where you're given a blank slate, then you expect to install it yourself. But if you get an operating system that suggests that it can give you an out-of-the-box desktop experience and it doesn't work, then you feel a little bit aggrieved. You shouldn't, but you do. You feel aggrieved. That's fine. If you know a way around, you can install it yourself, but it shouldn't have to. So that it lacks some options. There's some options are broken. Okay, lack of key applications. There's no Firefox. There's no OpenOffice. There's no LibreOffice, and there's probably quite a few other things are not there. I think I did search for Audacity. I don't think that was there either. And well, I don't know whether I don't know what's going on with that. It's whether or not there's a lack of developers porting stuff over. I don't know. Could it not be aligned with? You see, I changed from Raven ports to that, and I don't know. I'm completely out. Should I have stayed with Raven ports? Should I have gone back to this? I don't know. And it introduces a certain ambiguity, a certain problem, confusion, which doesn't need to be there. Changelog is not up to date, and which it isn't. So the release is 3.1.4, and I think the changelog is for like 3.10 or something like that. I know it's only a 0.4, but some things have changed. I suppose, yes, you could look at the changelog and then, work out what's changed, but that's just a little attention to details like that, which, overall a little bit, irritating. And relatively slow development. I know, relatively slow development. As opposed to what? Well, there was when for instance, when there was an error detected in the import system, it was a long while before this version came out, which supposedly fixed that. And so if you were downloading the previous version and that was your first ever try for MidnightBSD, then you're going to be put off because you're thinking, well, there's no way to install anything. It's just, you know what I mean? So perhaps the problem is lack of eyes on the system, or perhaps lack of people to sit down and help him out. I don't know how to address this. I don't know. So, what's the overall thing for MidnightBSD? Look, I like MidnightBSD. I like the developer. I like the ethos behind MidnightBSD. It has a niche to play. That's the wonderful thing about FreeBSD and its derivatives. You got FreeBSD as the progenitor, if you want. You know, it's the one that started it all off that way. And you can, it's like a blank slate. You can do with it as you wish. But if you want a more key role for a BSD, then GhostBSD is a desktop and a live DVD. It's pretty cool. You've got, but that's mainly for desktops. You've got NomadBSD, which seems to have stalled a little bit in development, but hopefully they'll get back up there. They're on the go, so you install it to a DVD and it's writable, so you've got a user space that's writable, so you can save your documents in whichever computer system you're on. And that's their niche, and that's brilliant. It's really good. Then you've got MidnightBSD, which could somewhere fall in between them all, if you understand. You know, like I said earlier, you know, how it could be, you know, give an option whether you want it to be a server, want it to be a desktop, or maybe in the future you can install it to a USB stick and use it as mobile. So it has a potential to bridge all them different versions. So none of them are like copying each other, but each one's got a purpose, and MidnightBSD could connect them. I don't know. So after all this waffle and all this ranting and all this fast forwarding and reloading and bang my head on the table and all these kind of things, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not giving up on MidnightBSD. I'm going to keep on coming back to it. I'm going to keep on checking it. And when I get one which, you know, download, it installs, it does this, and I'll do a review, a positive review, because I really want it to succeed. I don't like giving negative things. I don't like giving my history of MidnightBSD reviews is that I've done some that have been negative, and I think sometimes unfairly. I felt bad about that. You know, in the early days when you do reviews, you know, expecting it to be this and expecting it to be that. And then as time went on, and as the versions went on and it matured a bit more, I started noticing changes. It's like, this is really getting usable at this point. It wasn't perfect, but it was getting usable. And my reviews reflected that. So when I'm trying this, I waited a long time between the last one and this one in order so Lucas to fix a few problems with some of the releases. But when I've got to this one, it's like, what? You've taken a step back. I can see the changes you've made, but you've introduced some more errors. So I think a little bit more quality control, or maybe eyes on it, testing it. I don't know. But, you know, who am I? I'm not a developer. I don't know the ins and outs. I couldn't tell you. I'm just some fool that makes videos on things that other people do. Does it give me, carte blanche to criticize? I don't criticize unfairly. I'm not doing it out of malice. I'm doing it if someone wants to try FreeBSD or a derivative and they try this, I don't want them to be put off. So if they look at this review, think, well, yes, there is some room for improvement. Give it a little bit more time. Try something else, then come back to this and see if it's changed. So after all that waffle, all that hot air, I'm going to give it 2 nuggies, and let's hope that these problems, of course, they could be isolated to me. I mean, you know, my equipment's so old anyway. But let's hope that these problems are sorted out. And I'll be interested in the comments section down below if you've tried this out yourself, whether you come across the same problems, or is it just me? It's probably just me. If it's just me, then fine, I'll invest in some new stuff. If it's not, well, you know, let's give Lucas, let's give him a hand or some pointers or offer to help. I don't know what the solution is. Anyway, and can I say that before we go, if you want to hit that like button, and if you like this video, if you don't like it, then don't hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, more positive content, let's say, then hit that subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, then please consider hitting that bell. Because, you know, doing that will get YouTube to notice me, to notice the channel, to get the algorithm to kick into gear, and it will help, ultimately, me help the FreeBSD community. And it all starts with a little click. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.